not sure if it actually shut off because the button's
Sure.
gray. Okay, cut. All right.
I think that was a really good take, man.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
All things considered.
Yeah, I mean, you got a
Wait, hang
little
on.
the interrupting. What's up?
Hang on.
What's up?
Oh no.
What happened?
I
You
didn't
got it,
know.
right?
I thought it
You
was
didn't-
recording.
You weren't recording that whole time?
Oh no.
Dude, that was an hour and a half. That was so much stuff.
Time or
No, I don't.
like
I'm
a
busy.
quick 30 minutes try to
I
go
don't-
back over the main story. So you
a
said
quick 30 minutes?
let's
That's
see if
not-
we can't
we
just get it
can't-
from the top. Okay.
What do you mean
What's
from
your
the
name?
top? Are you serious? All right. We're on.
We're on?
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
we're rolling.
Nice.
So, do you want to start? Should I start?
You can start.
Okay, I will start then. So, hello everybody.
Yes. Hi.
you know,
Hello.
Just to get started.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Go
that
ahead.
wasn't good, right? We should restart. We should reopen.
No, that's fine. I think we're good. I mean,
You
it's gonna
sure?
be. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
All right. It just feels like a rough sort of way to try to start this whole thing. You know.
No, it's all right.
You want to have a, they say you want to start strong, so you grab people's attention, and it just seems like
I know
the
what you.
longer we
Yeah, I know what
it
you
seems
mean.
like the longer we talk about this
Mhm.
failing,
Well, yeah,
we're just
if
making this a weaker.
we talk about it longer like this, it's gonna make it harder
that's
to.
fair. Okay,
Yeah, that's what
so
I
we
was.
should just. You sure we should
Yeah.
restart it? It doesn't cost anything to restart.
I think just power through is. Yeah.
Welcome to Friend Simulator.
Yes. Welcome,
We got
welcome.
that name from. You sure this isn't too weak of a start?
No, dude, just
Well, welcome to Friend Simulator.
yeah,
You know the world is clamoring for more. Oh, was I looking away from the microphone for that?
it's fine.
Oh, should I take it from the top again? Do you
No.
think they heard the name of the podcast, Friend Simulator?
Yeah, they heard
Because I
it.
think it's a good name, but we got to do it justice by introducing it. You know.
Yeah, consider
Oh,
justice.
I think I hit the mic.
It's fine, dude. Just chill out.
Okay. Yes. Welcome to Friend Simulator.
Yes.
The podcast. Do we see? I've been working on a tagline. It's like the
Mhm.
podcast for when you don't, for when you're not, for when you're alone.
Mhm.
For the podcast for when you don't have someone to talk to.
Right.
Because do you see the pun in that?
What do you? The
Because when
pun?
you don't have,
No, I
you
don't
don't
know.
get
what
it?
I'm not. I don't think I'm directly following.
well, yeah, I guess it's a little involved.
Well, hey.
Yeah, basically, this is just gonna. More than anything, this is just acting as a personal record for me of just to
Mm-hmm.
remember things
Right.
and to record conversations and the things that I'm thinking about. Everyone's doing the journaling thing. You've seen all the people that do their
Yeah,
bullet journals
yeah,
and
the
stuff
bullet
like that. And
journals with
I
the-
do journaling sometimes now. I have one. I've had this old little purple. Like it's got the spine
Mhm.
ripped off. Oh, that sounds more
Jeez.
violent.
Yeah.
It's got the the binding is mostly
Mhm.
damaged. It's like a cheap plastic thing. It was for a elementary school purchase probably. But I think I have it right now. I don't have to
Yeah?
grab it now.
Okay.
But I've been writing in that since I was reading through it off and on since 2013. And
Oh,
when
wow.
I say off and on, it means it'll go
Mhm.
2013, 2014, 2016, dead air. But
Right,
like
just
I'm
skipping
checking
by
in with it. And I
year.
was reading through it earlier. And you think you would remember the sorts of things that you write in there
Mhm.
until you go back and read it, and I do not remember writing most of that.
Really?
So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because you would think that, especially because if you found it important enough to write down, right,
Hmm.
into a notebook, you would think it would be something that
Yeah,
was so important at
well-
the time. You know what I mean? What's up?
Sorry, I just kind of threw off my train of thought there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I've been doing the anyway. Yeah, I'm kind of
Mhm.
treating this as an audio journal in a way because
Right.
when I think that would be interesting, and especially I've been working on getting my Google Drive a lot more organized ever since my last class, my fall semester. Yeah, my fall semester at Mason. I had a professor that was good about headings for the different sorts of assignments. So like these are
Oh.
discussion boards, these are reflection journals.
Mhm.
So I started doing little what's the
Like
word? Not
qualifiers?
but heading, titles I would be for discussion boards are like
Right.
DB01, DB02. So then
Headings
when I go into
or
the folder in Google
yeah.
Drive, that's all in order with the DB0102. I think it just looks really satisfying. First of all, just looking at all the
ducks in a row.
yeah, looking at all of them just
Yeah.
lined up like that.
Mhm.
So I just think, it looks nice, and I enjoy that, and it makes accessing it again a lot easier.
Right, because you've got a
So-
system that you're working with. You've got a system underlying it. Are you good? Are you?
Oh, I keep losing my train of thought. You sure we shouldn't restart?
No,
yeah,
we're
I know we're
fine. Yeah,
4.5 minutes in now.
We're
so we
already-
should probably
yeah.
just power through.
we're committed.
Power through.
Fight it.
So
Whatever.
yeah, audio journal, and right now, it's I've only got you here today, which is I don't mean to say only. I mean
Yeah.
you're a good
Well, hey,
guest,
come on.
But
Yeah. Thank you.
we'll see. I'm sure we'll find something interesting to talk about.
Right.
But
I think we already have. I think
the,
we've yeah.
hope is that I can
Mhm.
convince some of my friends, because I've been saying for a while how appreciative I am of the friends that I have, the
Right,
guys
yeah,
that,
alright.
that I keep in my circle,
You
because we're
sap.
always able to have such great conversations, and we always talk about like, oh man,
Mhm.
like you can't talk to people anymore. It's like you try to have a conversation and like, oh yeah, oh that's great.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a joke. The whole that's
Mhm.
crazy, man.
Crazy, bro.
Oh, bro. So, we kind of pride ourselves on being able to hold really interesting conversations. So I
Right.
thought, why not, if I can get them to get over the stigma of, oh boy, you're doing what is this, a podcast? Because I don't want to call it a podcast, because
Mhm.
I might end up posting them, because if anyone else is interested in it, because, I came up with a name already, Friend Simulator, and you can't let that go to waste. To be fair, though, that name actually comes from Dean Sherman. He's like, yeah, I use podcasts as like a friend simulator when I'm on the road. So sourcing to Dean there.
Right. Yeah. You gotta plug him for the
But,
name.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think starting it as the idea of like, yeah, audio journal, just to hold on to some of my good conversations, because I always love the conversations I have with my friends, and a lot of time people
Mhm.
are like, you should have recorded that, or and I know it's the sort of thing that people say to each other too often, like, oh, you should have a podcast. Not everybody should have a podcast.
Right.
Maybe that includes me. I guess we'll find out. But I wanted to start it just with the idea of, hey, audio journal to remember these conversations, and if I can put it, if the person I'm talking to is okay with it being put somewhere, then more the better, all
Right.
the better, more the good, good riddance.
Clean.
So
Very
yeah,
nice.
that's really what I'm treating this as.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
It's also gonna just give me a forum for editing more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like being able to. It's kind of its own.
Right, so it's just going to give me more of a forum for editing and just putting puzzles together like that. I'm doing my best to kind of leave. Well, not. I guess I'm not doing my best to leave open spaces for you to talk.
Ah, yes. Well, you haven't really.
Yeah, I don't know. What's there to rap about? I've been listening to. Oh, I don't want to.
So you're not gonna.
Just to alienate the audience.
Okay.
I've been starting to listen to Shakespeare plays. Now let me explain.
Mhm.
I had access to I'm just gonna say had access to a subscription of Audible, but I wasn't really using it. So to stop the waste of money, I canceled it. But there were like 12 credits racked up, and I was like, well, what should I spend these credits on? There's not really too many books that I would rather listen to than read, in hand. I had a great conversation with my dad about that. That the markets have kind of decided that people like having books in their hands. The e-reader boom came and went,
Mhm.
and now people like having books. Like that's been a constant for a while, and I think it's going to be a constant in the future.
Lindy, one could
so
say.
I thought, what would I really value having as an audiobook? And then
Right.
I found that the Shakespeare library, like the Folger Shakespeare library, not only has records, recordings of these of Shakespeare's plays,
Mhm.
they're not just a single narrator reading the lines. They get a full cast, and they develop, soundscapes. They have, sound designers create soundscapes, and it's basically a radio show style performance of Shakespeare's plays.
Wow.
And it obviously there's a little bit lost in not having visuals, and they have to. It's interesting. They suggest certain important stage direction, like he dropped his sword, he drew his sword, things like that, and things other than swords.
Of course.
They suggest it with certain sound cues, like they'll have a
Mhm.
sword shing, of it being drawn from its scabbard, or like something clattering to the ground and things like that. So they're able to suggest those sorts of things, but their position, quote, on stage,
Right,
and things
the
like
blocking,
that is
the
pretty
staging.
abstract, so it has to come
Mhm.
through the vocal performance. But I think they do it really well. Like I just finished listening to The Tempest
Oh.
yesterday, which Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart,
Mhm.
played
Nice.
Prospero, and he was spectacular, of course, because he's, hey, if he can be Professor X, he can be some goofy Shakespeare
Right, of
character,
course.
some lame wizard. He wasn't a lame wizard. He's awesome. Patrick Stewart's great.
Excuse me. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, so I listened to The Tempest. It was really good. The reason I picked The Tempest first, as some people might know, is way back in middle school when nothing mattered.
Oh, to be there again.
My theater class did a unit on Shakespeare, and we chose The Tempest as the text we were going to analyze. We learned all about iambic pentameter, and this is how Shakespeare wrote. And it's like, oh, it's not actually called Shakespearean English. That's just normal English, because Old English is another thing.
Yeah.
And we talked about all the cliff notes that everyone has about Shakespeare. Like, did you know he invented 1,000 words and this and that? And it's disputed whether he wrote it all. But anyway, it's really good. The Tempest is really good, and it's shorter than most of Shakespeare's plays, and a little more straightforward. It's got a relatively small cast. It's just Prospero, his daughter, Caliban, and then the noble people. Not everybody's listened to.
I know. I remember.
But,
I was there.
It's pretty straightforward. It's not super long.
Right.
And it's really enjoyable. It's just got some good stuff in it. I was talking to Ian yesterday.
Oh, cool. Great.
And he got that look on his face that people get.
Right,
when you say,
right.
I'm listening to Shakespeare, and it's like, you freaking D-bag.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was I was trying to make the case. I was like, yeah, I know how that sounds, but the thing about Shakespeare,
Yes, of
and when you say
course.
that, it sounds even worse. But the thing about Shakespeare is it's way more accessible than people give it credit for. The one failure that I think comes, the one failure.
Of
One
Shakespeare?
big mistake of the public school
Oh,
system that
okay.
a lot of us grew up in the United States is that invariably the Shakespeare play that they choose to show us is Romeo and Juliet. I know
Yes.
it's been different for other people, but I read Romeo and Juliet. All my
Yes.
friends did. That's what we had to read. I didn't like it very much. I didn't think it was great. And I'm awesome.
Right, of course.
But I didn't think, that's me saying, as a fan of Shakespeare now, I don't love Romeo and Juliet nearly as much as I like The Tempest, or as I am currently listening to it, enjoy King Lear and what I know of Midsummer Night's Dream. I only know the rude mechanicals, but that's a pretty good part to know.
Right.
But,
Okay. Just nobody's gonna know what that is.
So I think they just did such a failure by starting, because all the guys, just speaking with averages, are gonna immediately tune out. It's like, oh, it's the most famous romance story ever, and the guys are like, oh, great. That's what I want to come into. Like, I don't want to be in class. 80% of us don't want to be in class in the first place. We're gonna be running around outside.
Exactly.
And when you force me to sit down, I have to read a romance.
Of everything.
Of all the things.
Yeah.
Do you know how much? I mean, there's a little bit of it in Romeo and Juliet. How many sick duels and murders and
Ship
crashes, political intrigue,
storms,
and magic when it comes to The Tempest there is in Shakespeare. A lot. And we forego all of that for the Wherefore Art Thou Romeo.
Right.
For that one. For the one with the balcony and the dance and the masquerade.
And the bush. Yeah.
It's just they don't sell Shakespeare very well. And then, well, they don't. They fail to sell a lot of things very well.
Right.
They being, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about teachers either, because teachers, it depends, but by and large they do their best.
Right.
And if you talk to almost any good teacher, they'll talk about how much of a impediment the school, the handbook that they get handed every year. It's like, here's how to best teach a kid, and some person that's never been a teacher that's like has a bachelor's in psychology is like, here's the best way to reach the children. And it's like, how about you let me teach because I'm a teacher, and you go do the bureaucrat stuff that I didn't want to do because I chose teaching.
Exactly. Right.
Again, that's me talking with next to no expertise.
Right.
But
of course.
it's just my 2 cents on the matter, and it's what I've heard from the teachers that I like the most.
And 2 cents it is.
Yeah, they just don't sell Shakespeare very well. So then a bunch of people end up like my buddy Ian, and like most people are like, oh god, Shakespeare, great. But it's like, no, it's really funny. It's well written, and when you go see or listen to a great cast, it's an experience. You walk out like, wow, that was a great story. And then especially, when you find out some great modern stories, can't think of any examples right now, but I know, oh, well, here's one that everyone knows, Lion King.
Right.
Everybody loves Lion King.
Exactly.
It's awesome. And we all know that draws a lot from Hamlet.
I think it's Hamlet.
It's Hamlet?
Yeah.
See, I haven't listened to Hamlet, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Hamlet.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's not the other one.
Yeah, because of the son and the uncle.
The other one. Yeah. I have been monologuing this whole time and haven't given you an opening.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but then I thought, it's better to let you finish your role because, especially because ultimately this is still a monologue anyway.
Oh, what's our time? I don't know what we're at. because the editing that I'm gonna go for here, maybe it's a little ambitious, but we're gonna have to see.
I think it's worked out largely so far.
I think we've covered some interesting stuff. We'll see if it's worth listening to. At the very least, we'll send it to our immediate family, who we can force to listen to it and levy judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think this was a pretty good take.
Yeah, it's been good.
What else? This is episode 0, I guess, of Friend Simulator. Oh, I gotta come up with intro and outro stuff. I'm just gonna go for
Non-copyrighted.
yeah, exactly. Just the royalty-free. Pluck
Mhm.
it out of grab somebody else's work that's talented but didn't have the confidence to copyright it, and just use that. So
I honestly think that might be a better way to do things. Like that's where iDubbbz got his, the content cop thing.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
For all of you millions of people listening to this,
Right, of course.
Thanks for listening.
Huge audience.
Maybe I'll record another someday.
I think we probably will. I mean, this was fun, just as an exercise. All right, cut.